All right, welcome back for the glitch. I know I probably pivoted where I'm actually presenting this as far as like profiles on LinkedIn, going from my personal page to the Black AI Media page. So just ride with me on this. Today I was really thinking a lot about with it being Black History Month and really considering things that have been produced, created, and in a lot of instances, essentially stolen. About the aspect of like ownership and producing, right? And thinking about, well, what does it mean to protect something? How do we take care of something? How do we ensure that, our name is still on it? And as actually, one of the interviews I did for Narrative, The Road to 100 with Vincent Hunt, one of the things that he said was, basically produce the thing, number one, right? Actually step in to be that person that creates that thing that is necessary and needed. But at the same time, make sure your name is on it too. Right? Make sure, with there's some establishment of uh, you being the one who essentially gets the credit and, you know, uh is known for that. And I thought about that just considering even the stuff I've done with registering trademarks, different aspects of intellectual property, even doing stuff with like domains, and continuing to purchase those. And yeah, it really drives home, I think, the point of a lot of the things that I've been recently digging into and studying. One being just even like thinking about like the bias aspect of things, kind of to pivot a little bit. Um, Books like Unmasking AI. Shout outs to Dr. Joy. And realizing that there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of things that I think, honestly, we don't realize a lot of the time. Um, but it's like underneath, it's underlying. And part of that too is going back into like the ownership aspect of things and intellectual property and how that comes into play, right? The process of a lot of it. And just recently, even with I am the algorithm, right? Actually submitting that, uh, trademark application to now feel comfortable and confident in putting that out and doing the things now, right? Like, um, and then also with the upcoming webinar series that I am going to be offering beginning February 13th. So basically doing Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern. But doing it from the lens perspective of the ownership of it, right? Of course, creating and formulating the details, the information, what's going to be disseminated and shared and passed on to people to ensure that what we're actually providing and offering, especially if you're charging people money, is going to actually be of value, right? And my understanding is that if you charge people money for something, the value of it should actually be a multiple, right? The value of something that you purchase should actually be higher than the cost, right? Value should be higher than the cost. Um, so how do we do that? How do we ensure that? I mean, that's really just tapping into um, you know application, practical use case of things, going beyond the theoretical. Um, and again, part of that is realizing that there has been a lot that has been taken, has been stolen, has been claimed, um, has been branded, whatever you want to, how you want to phrase it, um, that started with somebody else. Right? How many times have we heard about, or I can speak for myself, how many times have I heard about inventions and things like that that have been claimed and taken? Um, And this person who is able to register the trademark or get the patent or whatever the thing is, right? That's what happens, and then they claim credit, fortune, whatever it is. And then what does that do for legacy down the line? I think we all have to kind of ask ourselves, those questions in terms of like what we're producing, what we're putting out, and what does it mean for later on, beyond us, right? Even, yeah, something here like creating melanated mathematics, trademarked, right? Like doing that um, to teach, to share information, to have an accessible resource, but with intent and purpose, beyond, just like economical, gain or whatever, like building beyond that. Some interesting stuff that, is coming out now, with the glitch, like to go into some of the the layout and breakdown of education technology, whatever. But definitely in the education space, it's interesting what we're looking at from that lens. Definitely thinking about like in terms of ed tech. Um, I recently shared a post on LinkedIn that said basically like ed tech is crazy right now. um, just the nature of uh, the offerings, the potential, and I'll air quotes here, solutions that are put out. And then really thinking about what's the actual need, because a lot of us people are leaning more so into saying, well, technology is the answer, for this problem over here. Oh, students can't read. Here's a reading, platform or tool. Oh, like they struggle with multiplication. Give them this gamified, multiplication table or whatever. We have the question like, is that really the best fit? And also, when people are creating and producing these things and putting them out into the world and trying to essentially sell them, right, as that solution, is it truly viable? Just the questions that I have to have. But then also with the ed tech kind of sector, there's been declines in even like the funding, right? Like ESSER funding, for example, which I've had conversations about. And without that, you can't pour money necessarily into more of the industry side of things to, test or try some of those solutions. You have to be a little bit more intentional, I think, about what you're actually bringing in, um, because again, it's not like there's a a large trough of of money available. So it's like, oh, we got it wrong this time. Like next time it'll be better. It's like it might not be a next time because you've depleted all your money. So all that to say, people who are in the industry side, I think really just being mindful of what you're producing and creating. Is there real value in it? Is there true backing? Is it actually set up to serve and support the demographics of students or people that you claim? Um, and then on the other side, the system side of it is just making sure that certain measures are in place to uh, ensure that this thing, passes the litmus test, if you will. So, other thoughts, job market stuff, ed tech, education, transition, career change, all that stuff is, from what I'm seeing, still pretty hectic as well. But with all this stuff, again, if any support can be offered, reach out. Um, Black AI Media is continuing to grow, build, uh, which is amazing. Past 20% of the 100 interview goal for narrative. So interviewing 100 Black global tech professionals and thought leaders. So I think we're at like 21 or 22. Gotta double check. But we passed 20%. All right, the first 20 are in the books and available. All of that information, the resources. For example, there is actually an I Am the Algorithm campaign that is available on the Black AI Media site. Um, if you go there, a couple of cool things and a newer development recently too. First, it was a kind of running record of bios of folks within the space, right? Black tech professionals and thought leaders, similar to the Road to 100, but they're not complete comprehensive interviews. They're short bios and descriptions of what these particular people are doing, what contributions they've made, and of course you can reach out and connect with them. So it's basically the premise of what we've kind of seen traditionally with Black history, where people might highlight one person or a couple people per day, but shifting that a little bit and thinking about contributions within the tech space, who's basically doing the work there, moving and shaking, and has been, and what can we learn from them, and also how can we promote and share their work to make sure that other people are aware of it, because we hear about kind of a lot of the common um, people in different spaces, right? We always kind of go into talking about uh, entertainment and sports and stuff like that, but you know people are, are really making it happen in the STEM, and really leaning into the T of STEM, the tech side of things. And I think that we need to really highlight and promote that. Like, these people are now my heroes, right? My heroes are in labs and behind screens these days, which is beautiful. And I want the same thing even for youth coming up, but then even thinking, somewhat more selfishly, I would say, honestly, is for my own son, you know, that I want our youth to see that. And really I want everybody globally to see that because it's important. Um, so blackaimedia.com, definitely check that out. Another point to the I Am the Algorithm campaign on the site is those bios that are still available in written form are also now available and accessible through an AI chatbot that's right at that top of that page. And it's basically set up by sector where you can kind of click the area. So, innovation or entrepreneurship, what have you, you can basically select one of those or just do kind of general research in the same way that you would engage with any chatbot like ChatGPT or what have you, except this particular bot is trained on these amazing people. So you can go there, check that out, and learn more about folks who are doing amazing work. And the cool thing I think too is, I think just about everybody on that list. I mean, we're probably pushing somewhere between 40 and 50